Well, hello folks, and welcome back to The Plot. I have two pieces of breaking news for you today. The plan is today to have a bit of a plan. I need to do a bit of catching up and a bit of thinking. But first thing, before I get on to the breaking news, I have to do something. This was in fact one of my tips of the week the other day on Potty Mouth Garden Club. We're getting into that time of year. Today it's quite warm, but it's that time of year where it can be a little bit cool, but still very sunny. And that's the weather that always catches me out, where I forget to put my SPF on. And if you missed it, Gardener Scott did an amazing, quite touching video very recently about his issues. I'll link that in the description, but just a friendly reminder, if you can leave some SPF up in your shed or somewhere like that, then if you ever forget it, you've got some as an emergency. Anyway, breaking news. Piece number one, well, in fact, is about the temperature. First episode of the year where I'm wearing a t-shirt. It is properly warm today. Breaking news number two. Oh, just look at that sky. Look at that sky. It's like something out of a cartoon, isn't it? Oh, it's just gorgeous. Life is good today, folks. But breaking news number two is on the new plot. And it's over here. I'm smiling so much. So stupid. In here you can see this is a bed full of tiny little green seedlings, little green shoots of life, and most of the ones you can see are spinach. I did two big rows of spinach alongside the parsnips, and look, this is, I'm 99% sure this is parsnip seed germination. And once I got my eye in, I realised it's all over the place. Outside of the two lines, there are little green shoots, and I'm fairly confident we have parsnip germination. I was very recently talking about how I have had absolutely terrible luck when it comes to carrots, and I thought parsnips, another root veg, famously difficult to germinate. I did not have my hopes up, and it must be about 3 weeks since I sowed those parsnips, and it was really making me smile to see the spinach coming up, to be honest, because my direct sowing hasn't been too successful. But to actually have the parsnips, I was like punching the air when I saw them. Just like, yes, I finally got some. so happy. But back in the greenhouse, and we're coming towards the end of April now, and for the past few kind of times that I've been up to the allotment, I've really I've had no idea what I'm turning up to do, which isn't necessarily a bad way to garden, but I do quite often garden without much of a plan. And that can be liberating, that can be quite freeing. It can be fun too, but there is a time for sitting down, maybe getting a notepad out, making a few notes, and I just want to have a bit of a think about what I've got sown, what is good to have sown by the end of April. You know, what do I really need to start getting planted out? What do I need to get direct sowing? That kind of thing ahead of May. And the weather really today just feels like a sea change. Like it's never been this warm. We've had lots of really nice days, but there's always been a bitter wind, to be honest. So today feels like there's something in the air, and I just want to have a bit of a think about what needs to get planted. I'm not exactly relatively new to gardening at this point. This is year 4, and I feel like I should have maybe a bit more of an instinctive kind of memory about when certain things need to be in and when they should be going out and when I should be sowing things and when I should be doing, but I don't, okay? Like, I just don't. That hasn't quite filtered through into the automatic part of my brain. Some things I'm pretty confident on, but I just always use a backup because I'm never quite sure. And one that I use, I'll link in the description, you won't be able to see, but it's just a super simple sowing timeline, and it's actually, I think Charles Dowding made it. Like I say, I'll link it in the description, but it's 2 pages. It's so simple, it's so uncomplicated, and it's something I've been kind of going back to occasionally throughout this time of year. So I'm just going to go through it and see what I've got sown already in April and what I'm missing. It's officially too hot to work in the greenhouse, folks. Absolutely dying in there. I just did a couple of takes and I was just like, no, I can't breathe. I can barely breathe. But for the end of April, we've got leeks, beetroot, tomatoes, cucumber, courgette, squash, and sweet corn. And there's a few of those that I am missing. We've also then got the sowing outside potatoes, broad beans, lettuce, spinach, peas, salad onions, they're missing, early and autumn brassicas. I've got my early brassicas, but not the autumn ones. Parsley, leeks, leaf beet, carrots. Carrots, well, we saw those in the last one. So actually, you know what? I was kind of expecting to look at this list and go, oh, there's loads of things I've missed. Let's go and have a little look at what I've actually got sown that is on here. I'm really hoping this will actually be one of those videos that is kind of helpful for people, actually slightly instructional. This is my tray of leeks. This is that, it's an autumn leek, so I might still do some winter leeks in maybe kind of the end of May. We have got some germination just starting on here, and I've got a good feeling. I think most of this is still quite early. Got a pretty good feeling about that. I've got some lettuce in there as well. The beetroot, I've been good on the beetroot. I've actually been doing successional sowing, and I know for a fact that I'm not the only gardener who struggles with remembering to actually successionally sow things and keep on top of them. This year, I'm doing much better. I've got like loads of successions of lettuce, some other things as well, beetroot, other things that I can't now remember, beans, but I feel like I'm doing much better with successional sowing. But if you're one of the gardeners who forgets to successionally sow stuff, you're not alone. And you know, you can join the Glut Club. That's quite difficult to say. Glut Club. I can't talk. It's too hot in the greenhouses. See what I mean? We've got a few other things up here that are on the list to get done by kind of April. This is spinach, and this is really a bit of a cool season crop. It probably isn't loving life in this very warm greenhouse today, but I had a bit of, you know, not the best start with my spinach. But we've got some direct sown outdoors, and that's probably going to do much better than anything that's transplanted. But I'll keep those transplants on the go. Next door, you can see the tomatoes looking really, really healthy. They've really started to beef up now, starting to get a move on, and I'm really, really happy with those. What I'm really wanting to do is come up with a bit of a to-do list for the next week, because I've got a bit of time next week, so I'll be up at the plot quite a lot. I love a rhyme. So it's good to just get this kind of going in my head, and I know that I will be returning to this video. One of the YouTubers' secrets, a lot of my YouTubers' secrets, is that we make a lot of our videos for ourselves. These are like, I go back to my videos all the time to see, what was I saying that I needed to do? What did I forget to sow? What do I need to buy seed packets of? Like all that kind of stuff. I'm just really lucky that people enjoy watching my diaries. But actually, once again, yeah, pretty positive. There's not really anything that I'm missing. Some late leeks that I want to do, and outside, I've taken my foot off the pedal a little bit as well. Normally, I'm in a rush to get my potatoes in, and this year I'm doing a bit more of a succession with the potatoes as well. Some of them can still go in up till mid-May, and they might not be the best, but I'd rather have a little bit of a succession where you're kind of digging up one line at a time instead of digging up a whole bed, and then you just have too many potatoes. I do think I'm going to have a bit of a glut of brassicas. There are absolutely loads, but that's another thing for May, is I want to move on to the winter brassicas. I've got just so many spring cabbages. And the main thing that I haven't got going yet is my squash, my courgette, my kind of tender plants. What else is there? Sweet corn, I haven't even thought about started. So what I've done is just gone and quickly grouped some of my tender plants, because these are all split up. They were in all different places in the greenhouse, just wherever there was space. And these are looking amazing since I last showed you, actually. The spaghetti squash, the marina squash, honey plus cucumber, the market more cucumber too. The only one of these that hasn't germinated is the honey nut squash, but we'll give that a little bit more time. And I'm really happy with this, but I think now it's properly warm. The idea here was that they were a little bit risky, a little bit, maybe, maybe not. But the forecast now for us, I mean, touch wood, you know, I don't want to speak too soon. Touch wood. Yeah, the chance of frost, actual frost down here now is very, very low. We might have some low temperatures, maybe drop down to 3 at the most. That's my prediction. Touch wood, I'm on record. I think we've got loads of 5 over the next couple of weeks. So I'm still a bit nervous about bringing out the peppers, but I think it's time to get most of the cucumbers, most of the tenderish plants, the cute courgettes. I haven't got any courgettes sown yet, and I think they'll be fine. And then, to be honest, oh, I've just seen something behind the camera. Let me, oh. Look at this. We're bringing forward the Patreon thanks today, because the other day we were in a garden centre, not somewhere you'll find me very often because I'm famously stingy, and I saw this bulb planter. with a nice little, oh, look at that action. Oh, I couldn't resist it. And without Patreon, I never ever would have bought something like this. All the comments when I was planting my peas are just like, JB, use a bulb planter, man. And yeah, I've been using this. I planned out some lettuce with it. It's a dream. So an extra special thank you to all of my patrons, especially my chili pepper tier patrons, Tony, Pam, Michael, Bill and Louise. It's just awesome. Anyway, what I was saying is for May, I'm feeling fairly prepared as well. We've got squashes, leeks, a lot of the same things. May is when you're meant to start your French and your climbing beans, and I was a little premature with them, but they are looking quite healthy. I'll show you those. And then it's just lots more of the same. Spring onion, swede. Should I try some swede this year? That might be a little bit interested. Probably got some swede seed. Winter brassicas, potatoes, carrots. You know what, folks? I was really expecting to get this list out and go, oh, I'm really behind. There's loads of stuff, because that's me. That's me in the garden. And actually, it's all fine. It's all looking for touch wood. Touch wood. I feel like actually I'm in a pretty good position. I was really expecting something quite different. Said I'd show you the French beans, and they're doing pretty well. These are the really early sowings that everyone said would die. They did not die. Hurrah. They cobra. They're looking okay. A little bit of helmet head going on there. That's what we say with the peppers. Don't know if you call them that, with that, where the seed head kind of gets stuck on. And we've got another tray up here looking really good. Nice germination, doing really well in the greenhouse. And one thing I am doing is putting the heat-loving things, well, maybe not the leeks so much, but you know, the beans, the squashes, I've all just moved over here. There's some cosmos back there. That really needs to go out. But then what I do is I put the brassicas, the lettuce, that kind of cooler liking crop, they go right at the bottom. They get nice and shaded by the other things, and it's the same over here. We've got the brassicas down low, and over here as well. Oh, let me show you the celeriac as well. The giant Prague. This was so small recently. But, oh, that's just looking amazing. It's starting to come to life. So I thought I'd just get the seed box out, and I tell you what, Thompson & Morgan apparently have an amazing sale on at the moment. I'll put a link to the description in that. I think there's like free postage and packing on seeds and just absolutely crazy deals. No affiliate link there, there's no kickback for me, but I think the website crashed today. I think that's how good the deals were. But does anyone else find, does anyone else find you start the season with, oh my God. Oh wow, I knew it was warm in here, but jeez, look at that. That's too much. That is too much. It's a good thing I've got a bottle of water with me today, isn't it? I'm going to be dehydrated. I was going to say, you start off your season with a really nice, organised seed box. Maybe you've got categories, maybe it's done by time of year, but as soon as you get into the middle of it, it's just chaos. You finish sowing stuff and it all just gets chucked in. And my seed box at the moment is just, it's a travesty. So that's what I'm going to do, go through there a little bit, pick out a few things that I need to sow before the end of April. It doesn't have to be exactly the end of April, but you know, as we go into May, and there we go. But I think I'm in a much better place than I thought I was going to be. What do you think? Is there anything I've missed? Let me know how you're feeling about this stage of the growing year as well, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.